Some of you are actively distancing yourself from people because you just have this inkling to do so. And you're noticing after a couple days, maybe even a week, that your energy is slowly returning. Some of you are going through some sort of spiritual reset, and it's requiring you to maybe look at things for what it is and distance yourself. It doesn't have to be forever, this could just be temporarily maintaining your distance just to kind of see things for what it is, because when you're in something, it's hard to look at it objectively than if you distance yourself and give yourself time to kind of comb through all the details. So you distancing yourself from people has people stuck. Matter of fact, there's a number of individuals, I would say up to 7, that are really trying to figure out, like, why is the viewer pulling back from me? Did I do something wrong? Is there something going on with them? Some of you have decided to take a social media break without giving anyone any heads up or anything. Honestly, it's none of their business, but I feel like it's really caught people dead in their tracks because it's actually forcing them to self-reflect on why it is that you're distancing yourself. Some people are realizing that they bring conflict, drama, chaos, arguments. They're argumentative. Some people are realizing that they better get their act together because they're going to be left behind forever. Some people are getting that inkling. I also feel like you distancing yourself from certain individuals has highlighted the fact that there may be some sort of emotional chain. So those of you that are in toxic ties, like let's say just people are codependent on you and on your energy, you're realizing that as you distance yourself, like you're feeling so much better. Your energy is coming back to you. You're having a better mood on a day-to-day basis. Some of you are realizing that certain people around you never actually loved and cared about you. It sometimes takes you separate. This is like having tough realizations that you can only see from looking at things at a distance. So certain illusions have been shattered. I feel like you're seeing people exactly for who they are. And this distance has actually helped you do so. With this emotional chain, like I said, some people are codependent on you and your energy. They're codependent on your ideas. You've got certain people that buy off of you because they're copycats. And so as soon as you went ghost, it like shook up the vibration. It's like you've got people shaking up because they're like, man, like, what's going on with the viewer? Are they okay? Do they still want me? Do they still want to be associated with me? Like, who am I going to copy off of now? Like, it ranges. Some people, it's because they're energy vampires and you were their supply and now they're going haywire. And you're like top-notch grade A supply. You're not like just some regular. So when you pull back and go ghost, it definitely disrupts like the environment in some type of way. And I feel like you're also going to be feeling more free. You're going to be feeling the fact that your creative ideas are coming back into the mix. And you're going to notice, like, ever since I've separated myself or ever since I put myself into this break or this pause, I'm starting to see things exactly for what it is. I also feel like some of you are leaving people on red, ignoring them, reading their messages, not giving them responses because you're realizing like you do not have to cater to anyone's needs unless, you know, it's like your children or you're in a commitment. But at the same time, it's like you're ignoring certain people because you're figuring out that like they have been doing nothing but taking from you. So this no contact zone is actually very imperative because this enforced distance is going to force people to see what your value truly is. Sometimes you have to take a break from people so that they can realize that they're either taking you for granted, they're not treating you the way that you deserve to be treated, and even in the silence, it's like there's still an attachment here. I don't feel like you're attached to anybody. I feel like you're actually very, very much so sovereign in your own energy. But let's say like you're in a group setting of some sort. These people are going to be freaking out because they want to know what's going on. Some of them, it's out of curiosity, nosiness. Others of them, they are genuinely concerned. So with the Ace of Swords, though, the distance is going to give you some sort of clarity or proof. There are certain individuals that you will go back to, not in the sense of like in a relationship, but you will restore the communication back with them because you're going to realize that they actually bring something of value to you. But I also feel like the fact that you are distancing yourself from certain things and people, it's forcing them to look at commitment. And I'm not talking about commitment in the sense of like, yeah, let's be partners and be in a romantic relationship. No, people are looking at the sense of where they need to start being more committed to you as far as like the energy that they are giving to you, the love, the care, the reciprocation, because you're just showing them that you don't need them at all and you can just disappear and be completely fine. And I think it is Mercury retrograde right now, so the fact that this is coming out, communication issues will show up. And this is a time also where you're going to be reviewing everything. You're going to be reviewing what people's value are to you, whether they're even bringing anything of value to you. And this is going to bring challenges. The challenges are going to be making a decision and deciding to work on your inner healing and putting that focus back on yourself, because of the fact that you were surrounded by so many people at once, like pulling and tugging at your energy, that it was leaving you almost like without the full amount of your life force, because like people were kind of like taking from you, not just to generate creativity, but like now that the muse is gone, like you're actually a lot of people's muse and they would never admit that to you. But now that the muse has gone ghost, like it's people are frantic internally. They're frantic. They're asking each other about you. If this is like mutual friends or coworkers or family members that are close to you or they're connected to you in some way, like they're wondering why you're acting the way that you're acting. They may think it's erratic or it's out of character, but I feel like you know exactly what it is that you want. And that's why it says new life begins, because in order for you to timeline jump, you cannot take everybody with you. You are gonna have to separate yourself for like a week, 2 weeks. Sometimes I will go lock myself in my house for 3-4 days, and by the time I come out, like the whole world is completely different, and I'll know that I completed my timeline jump. You'll get those nudges from the universe, like, hey, retreat, get back into yourself, focus on yourself, focus on your work, focus on your aspirations. Like really take the time to reflect and go within and notice that any of the issues and chaos and problems in your life are not actually coming from you. They're coming from people outside of you. So with the Six of Pentacles, this is also the time to gauge how much of your energy you should be giving out to people. Reciprocation is a big key when it comes to the Six of Pentacles, because some of you have been overgiving to the point of where you've been tapping into your own reserves, and it shows. It shows in your body, it shows in your work, it shows in your stress levels, and you're going to be figuring out how to interact with people in a more healthy manner for the sake of your own health, whether it's mental health, physical health, emotional, soul health, because a lot of people like seem to take you for granted, and it's almost like sometimes you got to separate from them for a minute so that they can see how much of the value that you bring into their life. I do that all the time, and trust me, like it really makes an impactful like image to others. Obviously not on YouTube, because I'm here to give the messages, like whether I want to be here or not. Like I have to, that's part of my mission. But in your case, like in your personal lives, there's certain people that deserve no response, that deserve to be ignored and be left on scene, because they feel like they're entitled to you in some way, or they become so comfortable with your presence that they don't understand what life is like without you. And sometimes you have to remind them. So with the Eight of Cups in reverse, I feel like this is you walking back into yourself and keeping a distance from yourself to kind of recalibrate and go back within, because certain individuals around you, they were taking from you so much that it was almost like stripping you of your essence. And this isn't like overt boundaries being crossed. This is like slow energy drains and energy leaks from people around you that are always vying for your attention in some way, shape, or form. So you don't have to feel like you're entitled to give anything to anybody. Matter of fact, you can just worry all about you and know that you're going to be in the alignment that you need to, because you're going through some form of spiritual reset. And as you come out of this reset, you'll be interacting with people in a completely different way.